Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Or we could talk about a hurricane.
We could talk about that. I don't have any idea what that is. We could talk about go to Helene. If you want a hurricane, go to Helene.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Speaking of go to Helene, one of our former guests on the podcast is having a bit of a problem. It's out of all the people that we know in Florida. Her house is flooded and her cars are damaged.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep. That would be Kim, folks.
Well, and
Kim.
where?
She's in St. Pete.
Oh, yeah. You know, they got... When Hurricane Ian came through here 2 years ago, and almost exactly 2 years ago, we did not get much storm surge, and they were predicting 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Huge storm surge. And Charlotte Harbor got hardly any. In fact, there are pictures with people walking on the harbor because it was completely emptied of water. So it had the opposite effect.
Interesting.
Like a negative storm surge. And then when it came back in, it didn't come in with gangbusters. So, but we had probably 4 to 6 feet.
Oh, wow.
With this one, which was 200 miles offshore. And as further north you went, the worse the storm surge was. And oh my gosh. So yeah, Tampa, St. Pete, Kim, sorry. That's too bad. They got it good if they were anywhere near the coast.
And I think, and I don't know for sure. So Kim, when you do get a chance to listen to this, because I know you do, you're gonna have to tell us, because I've been told that she was actually on the water. She's on the water. The house is right on the edge of the water,
and that would do it. And you know, that's just it's a trade-off, but especially if you and I don't know about Kim's, maybe hers is brand new or whatever, but if she had some flooding, it's probably not up, second floor and up.
Right.
I would guess, but they got substantial amounts in Tampa, St. Pete.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but as long as everybody's okay, that's the main thing.
She's alive and healthy and not hurting her ankle.
Well, that's
an inside joke, but
yes,
yeah, it's. It isn't necessarily hitting you guys anymore. It's pretty much cleared up, right?
Cleared up last night. We had one of the. You figure this out, and we're new to hurricanes relatively, although we've had two stupid ones since we've been here.
And what he means by hurricanes is the storm, not the drink. He is not new to the other kind of hurricane.
Oh, I am not new to those at all. No, in fact, Bourbon Street, New Orleans, 1986.
You remember it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember somebody told me about it. I don't think I remember it. My goodness. That was, Pat. Oh, gosh. I'll have to think. Pat O'Brien's is the name of the bar on Bourbon Street. And oh, my gosh. Yeah, it got really red out that night because hurricanes were
reddish. They were out and reddish. Yeah. I have a thing with sweet. So I'm a candyaholic. I think we've established that.
I think everyone knows
when it comes to sweet drinks, I tend to get these really nasty stomach aches. They last about 20 minutes. I'm just sweating.
Really?
It's gross. Oh yeah, and I'll be on. It's a lot for me not to be on the floor in a ball.
Oh,
almost crying. I mean, they're very painful.
Maybe it needs more alcohol.
Probably, but I'm actually worried about this because I've got an old fashioned right here, and I put a little bit too much maple syrup in there.
Oh,
so I'm almost nervous that this one's going to give me one. But hurricanes, and rum punches, those literally punch me.
Flaming rum punch. Wasn't that from It's a Wonderful Life? That was what Clarence liked, I think, the flaming rum punch.
I think you're right.
Reminded me of him. So
I know. It's the bald head.
He wasn't bald.
I know.
Come on.
Oh, my goodness, John. You take me so seriously. Everyone takes me so seriously.
I do not.
Why so serious?
Yes, that is exactly right. So, yes, it's so sweet drinks for sure. However, the actual hurricane, after which it's named, it wasn't that bad. But as I was saying, with these trailing bands of weather, and you can kind of see them. It's like a Rastafarian would with dreads. It's kind of how it looks.
Kind of, yeah.
And as it spins counterclockwise, like the hurricanes do, it leaves these trails of severe thunderstorms. We had like 4 tornado warnings last night.
Really?
And one right after the other, because the entire line was headed right up to just to the east of where we are.
To change the subject, but not to change
Sure.
the subject, I have a question because you said they rotate counterclockwise, right?
Yes.
Does that mean in the southern hemisphere they rotate clockwise?
As I understand, and I don't know. I don't know it for a fact. Like I said, I'm new to the hurricane game, but I think cyclones.
Is that the difference between a cyclone and a?
I don't know, but
okay.
Someone is way smarter than we are that listens.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, honestly,
sure, pretty much all of them.
Well, no, but on the other hand, if they listen to us, all smart.
I was just going to say that,
you folks. But let's just. I'm going to probably back away from that. But it would be nice to know, and I'm sure, just a search on that, whatever that search engine is, it starts with a G. We could. We could find out. But anyway, it would be interesting to know. I think that is correct, though, because as I watch these counterclockwise ones, it's weird because you learn that the heaviest wind is usually in the top left or the northeast or northwest rather, and the dirty side is on the east. Well, we were on the dirty side, and that means apparently it has nothing to do with liquor and loose women. It has
that's too bad.
Everything to do with the storms and then tornadoes and so on, and a lot of water spouts, from what I understand too, that they track. Most of the tornadoes, though, were computer indicated or were radar indicated rather than visual.
I think it's really interesting, and I think it goes to what you're saying. So, as I mentioned, there were people that were very severely impacted. With most storms, you're always going to have that, but I find it so interesting, especially having studied it for most of my life, the media again, and being part of it technically, because that's what a podcast is. But
sure,
the headlines, Fox Weather, CNN, all these other places, catastrophic or unsurvivable storm surge, and I'm sure in the 5-mile stretch that it hit that level, it probably was unsurvivable. But I love how they just stretch it out to be the entire state of Florida, and everyone is going to be impacted. And I just find that so funny. It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever saw this clip, but Anderson Cooper got caught once. And I think it was, it was right after you moved to Florida, where he was like, and the storm was so horrible, and we're standing in front of all this damage. And someone actually walked into frame and said, well, yeah, I mean, that's the one tree that's down on the whole block. I mean, if you look over there, my house wasn't even touched.
But it was even more than that. It was like he was on his knees or something. Like I don't know, something like that.
Something so stupid.
It was ridiculous. And then somebody behind him is like, standing up with a paddle or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I have been in storms and the houses and communities around me have been impacted. So I'm not saying that not everyone was, and it's not, I'm not saying it's not sad or it's not, my heart doesn't go out to those folks who are impacted, but it just drives me nuts when the news just hypes it up so much. And then you talk to people that are there and like, did you even lose power?
No, we did not this time. And the reason we didn't is because I have the transfer switch for my generator now installed. So
there you go.
That's why everyone around me owes me big, because that's why we didn't lose power.
Nice.
So there's that. But I will say, in a season where they predict it's going to be really active, and then it's not as active as they anticipate, because this is the whole part of it. They, and then they can point to climate change, or they can point to whatever the cause may be. I did an inquiry with ChatGPT the other day. You'll appreciate this. And I was just curious about the impact of why there are more storms and all of that. Well, ChatGPT went on to say, well, it's because the Gulf is warmer than ever and it's the highest temperature and blah, 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 blah. And so I responded, I said, well, I don't really think the Gulf heating up has anything to do with the preponderance of hurricanes, since, at least for us, most of them come from waves out of Africa. And so if the waves don't come, they've been negatively impacted by Saharan dust, sand dust, and wind shear. And I said, when they make it to the Gulf, that indeed warmer water makes them more, a higher level. And
So what?
ChatGPT comes back and says, "You're right."
Of course, you're right.
What?
Well, no, I just love the fact that you mic dropped ChatGPT.
I love to do that, and this is the second time I've done it. The other thing
Yeah.
was on EVs, and it was not. They just spew the normal track that you hear from
Yeah.
the mainstream media, because
Well,
that's how they've been programmed.
Well, that's
Until
exactly
you
it.
present them with
And
facts and
it's
other.
not just what they've been programmed. So with the new ChatGPT, especially, you have to teach it. So you've got a lot of people who are teaching it their thought process. That's the only way it can learn.
Does
So
it
for you,
customize though
it
to the
does.
individual?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See,
Yep.
I'm not
It
that
can.
familiar, but
So
I'm not scared of playing with it either. So.
no. It's kind of fun, and especially fun when you can teach it a few things. But there was someone I was watching, and I don't remember if it was Brett Cooper or if it was someone else. I know it wasn't Brett Cooper. It was another person I watch on Instagram. Another young female conservative, but she found a story or something, or played with it. I don't remember what the background was on it, but she was talking about how certain AIs can predict the presidential election, but how you have to do, and I did try this, folks, and it didn't work for me because I used ChatGPT. But what they did was build a prompt that said, okay, it's 2029 right now. Who won the 2024 election? And it said, and she showed the whole thing. It said Kamala Harris.
Huh.
Yeah. It was, and I was fascinating. And then I guess they changed it to say something about Trump and all that stuff. And it didn't know the answer at that point. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
It's going to be, I mean, I know it's going to be interesting. I think, I just saw something today in the news, fresh out of the news, that North Carolina just removed 700,000 people erroneously on their voter rolls.
Wow.
700,000.
That's a couple of people.
How does this happen? How do they? So again, it's not to say they're all going to go left or right or whatever, but I think most people know where we stand. Mostly we stand for truth, and look, no cheating on the elections.
Right. Truth and common sense.
That's just it. And, I don't have a lot of both of those things.
Yeah, me either.
But we can search for them.
Sure.
So anyway, but I just find it interesting that it's just kind of an ongoing effort, it seems like, as you said, with the media to create in us division in order to, whether it's with AI or whatever it is, we've heard examples of it where if you ask, oh, play me a Trump ad, or so, I can't do that because I don't. Oh, play me a Kamala ad, and then they can play it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't do that.
Right.
But that's anyway. It's
no matter
funny.
what side you're on, you can't do that.
It shouldn't be. Yes, it should be equitable. That's the way it should be. But some people don't give an RA if it's equitable or not. Tim Pool, he has some fun interactions with ChatGPT and other AIs that he likes to tease a little bit, and it's fun listening to him, how he'll doctor. He's a smart guy, and I like his whole team on Timcast, because they're all really smart, and I can call them kids because they're much younger than I am, but I just like the way they think, and they're probably center and right of center for the most part, but they're just sharp people, and it's fun to listen to smart people.
Yeah. That's really, again, why people don't listen to this podcast.
Again, look, if Tim Pool is your other choice, what are you doing here?
Right?
But I'm not convinced Tim isn't listening to us and
Well, of course
using
not.
our talking points.
Well, it's kind of like Rogan. That's the word the name I was looking for. Yeah,
Joe Rogan,
our good buddy Joe. Yeah.
Well, he adds in. He pretty much just does the same podcast as us, and then adds in F-bombs.
Right.
So
well, I can do that. I can do that. Not well, but I can do it.
Did I tell you my pastor is maybe
going to listen? You did. Beep 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 beep.
Yes,
beep.
That's how it'll be. Your partner Nick seems to be. Is he? Does he have some sort of a condition that?
Yeah.
He has to beep his answers.
Yep.
That's it. That's what it is.
Couldn't think of the word. I know. I'm surprised I thought of the word.
No, well done.
Thanks. Well, it happens so rarely that I have to take pleasure in when it does.
Yes,
so
I know. Welcome to my world.
So a couple things. One, I haven't really heard anything different in your voice whatsoever, except for a little bit of a northern accent, among other things. But let's just stick with the northern accent right now and talk about that.
What northern accent?
It seems like you just came from somewhere that might have a little bit of a twang that you've brought back with you because you grew up that way. So
I grew up that way. Yeah, so did you.
Yeah.
Ah, goodness. Yes, Wisco. We were in Wisconsin it was a fast weekend. It wasn't actually the start of my PT for my shoulder, but it turned out to be kind of a PT weekend because Lisa and I were helping our friends Matt and Carrie with their new building. And
okay,
man, they have built it out all by themselves. I shouldn't say all, with her dad's help and some other friends and so on. It's amazing. They have really done a good job, but
they didn't invite me.
I think they wanted it to go well.
Okay. Understandable then.
So
all right.
Probably why. Yeah, I wasn't doing much because of the shoulder, but I was cleaning and sweeping, and yeah, that's about what I did.
Well, that's good.
Cleaned and swept, and
but you came back with a bit of a change in voice.
Yeah, just the cold. No, it's just a cold. It's not. Yeah, hey there. I did not then.
Oh no, you did.
Cry there.
You did, but then you got a little bit of that nasal accent there too.
That's not on purpose. That's from flying in the plane. And there was one person in the whole gate area that had a mask on. And now I view those people as probably really polite because they might have a little cold or the sniffles or something, and that's why they're wearing the mask.
That's not the case, but
probably
at least you're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe so. So I asked her who she was voting for. But
I got one for you. Go on, finish your story. I got it.
No, I was just going to say it's like the old days flying. That's where I would catch my colds. Or if I was doing a training class, shake everybody's hand when it's all done. It doesn't matter how fast I get to the antibacterial gel. I'm going to get a cold.
But you can't pick your nose between the time you shake someone's hand.
You should, though.
It's so good. Well,
I try to pick it before.
Even when I'm on a podcast with you, I've got my Purell sitting right here.
Well, this is really not an indicator of what I think of you, but mine's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, well, size doesn't matter, John.
Oh, really? Yeah, what man told you that? Anyway, especially when it comes to Purell.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of which, so this is a half gallon, something like that.
Uh-huh.
I had 2 of these before COVID hit.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, you were living large.
Oh, big time. And I could have sold it because remember, people were like creating their own.
Yeah.
Oh, let's make it.
Well, all the alcohol companies were the liquor companies, the distillers were all making their own.
Oh my gosh.
But
they also said you could do like 3 pumps and then some 7-Up, and it was really a pretty good cocktail. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Prohibition all over again.
Yeah. Yes.
So I flew this past week, and when I went to the airport, there was a family that was there, and I was coming back, and we got on the tram or on the bus from the rental car place back to the airport, and they got on the bus. They didn't have their mask on when they got on the bus, but when they sat down, they all pulled out their mask and put it on. And I'm like, whatever, to
Sure.
each their own.
Yep.
And then I look over at the lady that had done it, the mom of the group, and she had her mask on, but she was a smaller Asian woman, and she had the mask on, and then she was like this. The top was like that, John. It was it was open. I'm like,
That's
don't
awesome.
think that's really gonna. I mean, the masks themselves may not do everything you think that they do, but it definitely isn't going to do what you think it's going to do if the top is completely open. I mean, there had to be a good inch and a half between her face.
That was so consistent though during COVID though. Remember, people they'd wear them and they'd be down under their nose. And,
it's like it doesn't do any good if it's not covering your face and tight to your face.
That is funny.
I was secretly giggling and judging her.
Not so secretly.
Not so secretly, no. I mean, I think everyone on the bus was kind of looking at her going, yeah, okay. Okay. You just keep going, lady. Yeah, you do you. You do you. I wonder what Karen is in Chinese.
Was she Chinese or Japanese or
I don't know.
Asian or
Asian descent.
I'd go with Asian because that's usually the safest.
It is. It really is.
It's tough to tell. I mean, for us.
For us, yeah.
I have been watching, and I think it's a Saturday Night Live thing, and you probably are more familiar with it than I am, but there are the two guys. It has taken the place of the newscast that they used to do on SNL.
Yep.
And it's the black guy and the white guy, and they write or they bring jokes for each other.
Yeah.
And I don't think they each write them. I'm sure they have help with them. But
one of them named Colin Jost.
Colin and
he's married.
John,
he's married to ScarJo.
I did know that. Yes, I did know that. Well, I've been watching them today, and I've seen them before, but there are some funny bits with those guys.
Yeah,
I mean, because
really
it's usually, because Colin's white and the other guy's black, and they're just
they just keep trying to one up each other. The whole time.
They're so funny because this is the first time they read the joke, and they have no idea what's coming. And the black guy's awesome because he'll just, as he can see in the prompter or whatever, the punchline coming, he's already going, oh no, man, oh no, I don't want to do this. And there are some that are just so funny. But Colin has to do, and it usually ends up being some racist joke or whatever. Man, Colin, that's kind of racist. It's just hilarious.
It really is.
Yeah, I've been watching those on Shorts today, and it's really pretty funny. I mean, I had other things to do too, but that was
sure you did. Sure,
that was on my list.
Lisa,
she can't.
Seriously,
she's no. Sorry,
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry at all. I'm going to talk about something so I can blow my nose, so I don't have to have this stuffiness.
Shit. I don't know what to talk about.
I'm going off camera to do that.
It's probably a good idea.
And
we don't really want to see anything. Yeah, please do.
Too. I'm going to do a farmer blow. It's like just a one, like I used to do on the golf course in Wisconsin.
Totally gross. Totally, you just don't want to hear it anymore. Nothing. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's fine. Perfectly okay. Go for it. You just go and do that right now. Oh, John, we can still see you. Oh, I can see everything. Oh, it's nasty. It's a nice chair, though. I really enjoy the chair. You live in Florida, but I can see that the state of Wisconsin is on your wall behind you. I don't know if that's really something that the Floridians want to see. Something I never know. So you call a Michigan person a Michigander. Mm-hmm. You call a Minnesotan person or a Minnesota person a Minnesotan. What is a Wisconsin person?
Wisconsinite.
Is it a Wisconsinite?
Of course.
I always thought I was making that up. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Wisconsonian.
Wisconsonian. Wisconsonianota.
No.
Well, it has to be because only the smart people go from Minnesota or Michigan and move to Wisconsin.
I'm honestly just going to leave that alone because it's almost too easy.
I was trying to set you up. What if I wanted to go off camera?
You're welcome to. I think honestly, our numbers would go up. Anyway,
So
Nice
before you go
chair.
on, yeah, nice chairs that we have
Mhm.
identical chairs.
Yes.
I'm going to share my cup here because I was going to have a
Yes.
drink of water. It says
Kind of a big deal. Very nice.
so. I'm not going to say much about it, but my boss,
Yes.
today was his last day with
Yes.
us, and he's going to another company.
Yes.
And I'm very very happy for him. Very proud of him. I think he'll do a great job there. I think this is a great career move for him, and
Definitely.
I welcome him because he's actually moving from where he lives now here to Nashville.
Oh,
So
that's even better.
I'm
So
looking
you guys
forward
can have
to
lunch and
exactly,
yeah.
because I'm really good at doing stuff like that.
No, you're
My
not.
other buddy who works with me on my team moved from Seattle here, and we actually spent more time together when he
When
lived
he
in
was in
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah. So
That's
I'm
pretty
assuming
funny.
it's going to be pretty much the same thing. But anyway, he gave
Funny.
me this cup. He
Well,
gave all of
cheers.
us a cup. So because today was his last day. We're the whole
How
team
nice.
who all got their cups are all drinking out of them in what's the word I'm looking for?
With tears.
Yeah, definitely tears
Yeah.
of joy. I mean, yeah.
Yes. And that.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's awesome. And yes, I know your former boss now, as of today.
Yeah, as of today. Well, he's
and
still.
I know he's going to do great.
I'm going to give it until midnight before he's not my boss
Are
anymore.
you?
Technically,
Whatever. I hope he
Technically,
calls and
it's-
makes you do some crap that you hate.
yeah,
Damn it.
right. Exactly.
Well, that's funny. I'm sure he will do great. He has a good heart, and I'm
Very talented individual.
interesting that he's moving the. Are they empty nesters yet or not yet?
Not yet. Well,
Oh, I was
sort
gonna
of,
say it's
kind
gotta
of,
be close.
sort of, kind of. I mean,
Okay.
I think. Excuse me. I think his last kid, his daughter, if I have that right. I apologize if I don't, Chris. I think his daughter is. I know his last kid, his youngest child, is in college.
Oh, okay.
But still living at home.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure that'll all work itself
So
out.
yeah,
But that's
exactly. So well,
good
I
for
think
them.
what's going on, and again, Chris, forgive me if I'm butchering this. His daughter and his wife are going to stay in Maryland, where they're from. Stay there for another year while Chris commutes back and forth.
Okay.
So he's got an apartment here, and
he's I know he told me, I think he was low on miles, so he wanted to get flight miles.
Yeah, he's got more miles than any of us, probably all of my team combined.
Well, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point, and I think we talked about this, but I was when we've discussed Marriott points, hotel points, and such. Yeah. And at one time, I had my eyes on 1,000,000 points.
Wow,
I know
that's pretty impressive.
And I was probably 7 or 8 months away, but then. At some point, you go, what if I die? I need to start using some of these. And that was back when you got something for the points, that they were a lot more valuable than they are today. But yeah.
Well,
so
let's not even get into that because that's another political thing now. Because there's supposedly a bill being presented. It's presented that is trying to streamline or add a little bit more transparency to reward points when it comes to airlines, when it comes to hotels and things like that. So part of the legislation, I guess, is that points will never expire. So you don't have to use them all really quick, and that you can use them in other places, which Marriott honestly is very good at. I mean, that right now they're running a thing with Starbucks, and you can share points back and forth between Starbucks as well as other airlines, mainly United, but some other ones as well. So
I'm becoming a little more libertarian apparently, because this isn't stuff for the government to be dinking with.
Not at all.
Let the market.
No, it was definitely it was a very liberal senator that brought this.
I mean, I could see somebody on the right doing that too.
Oh, absolutely.
If they
keep flip-flopping. I mean,
if they had, some of their constituents complaining, whatever, or a lobby that was very wealthy coercive.
I got a movie quote for you, and you tell me what movie it came from.
Oh boy.
Is you is, or is you ain't, my constituents.
Oh, that sounds
is you is, or is you ain't, My constituents.
Okay, so it's not my cousin Vinny. I do not know. What is it?
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh, okay. I've seen it once, so
You should see. That's a great freaking movie.
I have seen
it's
it, but I've only seen it
it's
once. It does not register
I think it's
until I
actually
see it multiple times.
it's a take on the initially I wanted to say the Iliad, but it's not. I think it's the Odyssey.
Oh,
Homer's the Odyssey.
Homer's Odyssey.
Yep.
He had the first Honda.
Yeah. Great car, by the way.
Yes, I remember. In fact, we had one of the first ones that was available at a dealer where I did training, and the general manager there, God rest his soul, what an awesome guy. Al Marzano was his name. Al was just the best. And Lisa wanted one of these Odysseys. We had one kid and a dog, and we needed an Odyssey like a hole in the head. And you couldn't get them. I mean, we were selling them for over sticker price. And so I just told him to figure a lease. If you get one, I'll do whatever you need me to do, and we'll just lease it and go from there. Well, Al said he would call Lisa and say, Mrs. Quaddy. And Al, we're pretty close to the same age at the time. And it's Lisa. No, Mrs. Quaddy. And he was just the nicest guy. And anyway, he found us one, an Odyssey at sticker price that he figured out the lease and traded in our truck. And he and I battled back and forth on the truck value. And it made me laugh. And he goes, I said, Al, what is it about the truck that you're scared of? And he said, you son of a bitch. And I was the trainer at his store, so it's not like he was. So he gave me what I wanted for the truck and sticker price on the Odyssey to make it less long. By the time we got done with the lease, we had a positive equity of over $3,500 on the Odyssey, because that's what they were worth. Yeah. They were just bringing such high money. And so we got into our next vehicle, and the payments were stupid low, or lower than we anticipated, just because the Odyssey brought us. Yeah, you got positive equity. So all you do is buy it, sell it back, trade it in, and off you go. So it was pretty funny. The Odyssey. Homer's
the Odyssey. Homer's the Honda Odyssey.
Yes.
I was watching a program the other day, and what was the GMC minivan that was out there? I can't remember it right now. I can't remember the name of it. I remembered it, the Astro van. It was the Astro van.
Oh, that was a Chevy.
Was it a Chevy?
Yeah.
What did I say,
bro? You said GMC.
Close enough.
No, not really.
It's the same. It's the same company.
This would be great if you were a customer. It's whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's not Stellantis. Whatever.
I don't remember there was a GMC version.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, it was. I mean, they looked very similar. It was just different badging. Yep. I saw one of those on the program, and I remember just absolutely loving those vans.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I loved the Astro van, and I wanted one, and I was young. I mean, I was.
Yeah.
But that was the Astro van when I first got my driver's license. Yeah. That's what I wanted. I was like, I want an Astro van.
What were you going to do with it?
What do you think I was going to do with it, John?
Oh, I don't know.
I was going to cart my friends around to all of the different events that happened within the community to make sure that we were,
Yes, you got there safely. Yes,
exactly. Got there safely, and we were able to volunteer.
Funny Dave Portnoy video, if you can find it. He bought, probably before he started Barstool Sports, bought an Astro van, a piece of crap with 100 and 200, I don't know, a whole bunch of miles on it. And it was rusty and crappy. That was the best vehicle I've ever owned, ever. And he just goes on and on about it. An Astro van, really? But I don't think
don't blame him.
I don't think Dave covets anything that's particularly nice. Although he did buy a boat, and
you didn't tell him about your theory about boats or your saying about boats?
He apparently doesn't care, because he sold Barstool Sports for millions and then bought it back for $1. And so whatever. Guy's worth
A lot of money.
Probably $500 million, I would guess. And he's a nut. Anyway, so yeah, that's Portland. But bought a boat because he had to, and then got lost at sea or some shit like that. He couldn't. Had to call the Coast Guard. So whatever.
Wow.
Hire a captain, you cheapskate.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he still has millions of dollars.
He does indeed.
He does.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to ask about that, but now I've forgotten. Good job.
That happens a lot on this program. I don't know if you knew that.
Happens a lot to me just in general.
Cranking, for Pete's sake.
Well, not anymore. I finished it.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, I think your saliva still probably 40 proof.
Oh, there's a little bit more in there.
Did you smoke it?
No, I did not.
You didn't, but you mapled it. And did you do bitters or any?
I did coffee cherry bitters.
Oh wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, they were pretty good with the Travelers.
I'll have to try it because a friend of mine mentioned the Travelers as well. A couple
of friends of yours, yeah.
Well, I knew that, but I mean another one from here who happens to be an aficionado. Like
an aficionado.
He doesn't like fish.
That's too bad.
Oysters anyway. So, but yeah, he mentioned the Travelers and said how awesome it is.
It is very good. It's very smooth. I'm still and Eric, who hi Eric, hi buddy.
Yeah, Eric.
He sent us a really good video. I'm sure he wanted me to share that video on PoddiMouths, but maybe we'll save that for another time. We should have him on and he can share it himself.
We actually should, because I haven't seen him for a long time, and B, I'm sure he owes us money. I'm not.
Well, I saw him pretty much this week, so pretty much. I did see him this week. Yeah, I'm tired of him for this week. Okay. Anyway, but it was a really good video of the Travelers being poured.
Yes, and it was awesome.
It would be fun to have him on.
Clearly a nice media piece that they must be using for something. I don't know.
I think he filmed it with his phone.
Shut up.
Yeah, he did.
It looked awesome.
It did. Really he did a great job.
Okay, well then.
Don't tell him I said that.
It was probably done professionally. It's not like he'll ever hear it. He actually will.
He actually will. Yeah, I know. He's the one person who comments on every. I mean, Bill is up there, but Eric. I mean, he comments on every single episode.
The man.
Yeah,
he is the man. He really listens, and he'll say something, and knowing full well that we recorded it a week earlier or whatever.
Yeah, or 2 weeks earlier.
And I'm going, what was I talking about, Eric?
Exactly.
So anyway,
that's usually my response too. Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I don't remember saying that.
I don't think we actually said that. I think you're listening.
No, I looked back at the transcript and well, thanks to him, my wife right now is in the running to get the Tennessean, which is the local newspaper, an award for her studio, and it was all thanks to Eric, who accidentally, which a happy accident.
Yes.
He actually nominated her for the award, and so we're all voting. Everyone's voting every single day in the Tennessean.
That is awesome, which I did as well, but I didn't know I could do it more.
Yeah, you can do it every day. Every day for the next 4 days, I think.
Okay. Well, that might put her over the top.
Hopefully.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Good for Eric.
So I'll blame Eric. It's always Eric's fault.
Well, but she's going to be famous now.
Exactly. Well, she already is. She's been on this podcast. I mean, come on, John.
She has. Yes. I'm sure that put her over the top. And so is Mona. Where's Mona?
Yeah.
We haven't talked to her for a while.
No, she's in East Tennessee. She got more rain than we did.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was everyone in the eastern half of the country, third of the country, got a real taste of Helene.
Yep. Well, I'm going to leave that one alone.
Well, no, I'm going to leave it alone.
It's not that kind of podcast, John.
We've tried.
This podcast is a lot of things. It's not that kind of podcast.
Well, we tried to make it that, but
we did.
Yeah,
we did. Hence the name.
I know. We say naughty things sometimes.
Naughty. Well, one last question before. I don't remember, so forgive me. Do you have Apple TV or TV? The Apple thing.
I do not.
Okay. So you haven't seen
Sorry.
Ted Lasso or any of those
No,
programs?
but you brought it up more than once.
Yeah. Well, there's another program, and it has Vince Vaughn on it, and it's called Bad Monkey. And my wife and I
like
started
Vince
that.
Vaughn.
I do too. And
Okay.
it is actually a very entertaining program.
Cool.
So if you ever do get Apple TV, or for those of you who are listening who have Apple TV, I would highly recommend at least the first 3 episodes, because that's all I've seen so far, watching Bad Monkey.
So maybe it goes downhill.
It may. I doubt it,
there.
but it may.
Lisa and I are watching on Prime Joe Pickett.
Joe Pickett?
Which is
okay.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, I've seen some of those episodes. That is a good
Yeah,
show.
pretty darn good. We've enjoyed it. And it's a little bit of comedy and a little bit of drama and some stupidity. And
you just talked about Bad Monkey right there.
Actually, that's PoddiMouths too.
Yeah, that too. We're in good company, folks.
Yes, we are.
And on that note, John.
Good note.
Check out PoddiMouths.com for all of our past episodes. And be sure to hit up our socials, like and subscribe if you're watching. If you're watching this on YouTube. Wow. It's been a very long week.
Well, it has been a long week.
Very long week.
You've only had one cocktail.
It's actually, it's been a very long couple of weeks, and I won't get into that, but it has. And so, we did actually kind of mention it. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Just the way to go, Chris. I can't believe it.
Jeez. Anyway.
Good for you.
Exactly. Anyway, we would love to hear from you if you want to like and subscribe and comment on any of our episodes, and you can do that also on Spotify. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on X. We probably won't see it on any of those, but at least you're commenting, because once in a while I do respond. Once in a while, so does John.
At PoddiMouths.
He's on Instagram. He responds all the time. Yeah. Right. Lisa could respond. She's on there.
She is.
Anyway, that's where we are. That's where we will be, and that's where you can find us. So please do so in all respects. And John, it has been wonderful, and I will see you again in the very near future, and all of the rest of you as well.
It is always a delight to see you, my friend, and everybody else. See ya.